I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your dumpster fire for the weeks of June 14th to June 27th.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.
World burns.
Pick that up, Maggie, for me when we're done, please. While you're down there, please wash my feet. This is going to be a bonkers one, folks, because it's a shit show around here. Just an absolute shit show.
I know, seriously. This is the setup we have for Sammy Flaps and Folds. She's watching via FaceTime, and we've got a mic pointed at the computer, and it's like the most epic thing in the world.
Ready?
Troll in chief. Here we go. Trump proves he can drink water with one hand.
Breaking news! The president can drink water with one hand. He can also go down ramps. A feat which he is very proud of, and he's turned into a 5-minute stand-up routine.
So, this was a steel ramp. It had no handrail. It was like an ice skating rink.
Maybe our president was a failed stand-up comic.
In another
and
way.
we know what happens to failed artists. You know who else was a failed artist? Just kill me.
Seriously. This is where we are.
Nothing says working class man of the people like water ruined silk.
It's silk because they look better. They have a better sheen to them. And I don't want to get water on the tie.
He's such, I don't know how he does it. How is he a populist hero?
I don't know. And he gets he got a roar from the crowd when he was talking about how silk has a better sheen to it.
Sam said it was like the Super Bowl.
It was totally the Super Bowl.
Watching the Tulsa rally?
She said she should have made nachos.
Oh, God.
I should have made nachos. What an event.
She was like, he just drank some water.
The crowd is going wild.
Like, the crowd is losing their mind. Are you watching this? Like, no. Why would I be watching this? The bar is so low for this election. It's just so crazily low. It's basically dementia versus incompetence.
Yeah.
And stupidity. And many people would choose dementia.
But they also
choose
stupidity. Yeah, they love his brand of incompetence. They cheer for it at rallies.
And I feel like that Sarah Cooper girl is making me like him more. Because I couldn't stand his voice forever. You know me, I would be like, turn it off. That's why when Sam was like, aren't you watching the rally? I'm like, no, why would I watch this? I can't stand hearing his voice. But because she's kind of so adorable and likable, I will watch those videos, and then she's just so funny. And the most recent one she did, I was like, oh.
And we're getting exact numbers out, but we're either close to or over 1 million people wanting to go. And we expect to have, it's like a record-setting crowd. We've never had an empty seat, and we certainly won't in Oklahoma.
Oh, God.
He's kind of cute.
She'd be horrified to hear that.
She's normalizing him. I promise you she's going to get canceled in October for normalizing Trump like Jimmy Fallon did when he ruffled his hair.
Well, that's a prediction we'll have to wait and see on. In Capitalism Always Wins, Gwyneth Paltrow's new Goop candle. This smells like my orgasm.
I mean, the world is burning, and Gwyneth Paltrow is selling candles that smell like her orgasm, whatever that smells like. Probably bergamot and like all the other candle smells, lavender. It probably smells like old lady eye pillows.
What the hell is that? There's a smell associated with that?
I don't know.
Like lavender.
Yeah, lavender.
Like lavender scented.
Cucumber.
You put it on your eyes when you nap.
Did you think I just meant like baggy old lady eyes?
No, I just didn't know if I guess those things do have like their own scent to them. Okay.
Old lady, like lavender, vanilla, and mothballs, like Sam said. Cedar. Cedar, lavender, and vanilla.
And sea salt.
The scent of an old lady drying her cooch out by the sea. She's selling these orgasm candles for $90 and people are buying them in case you needed any evidence of capitalism always winning. But how fucking dumb are you going to feel during the apocalypse when you don't have any power and you're lighting this smells like my orgasm candle for $90 and you're like, God damn it, I probably should have bought a fucking generator with this money and maybe some canned goods, and you bought a stupid candle.
You bought like 8 goop candles from smelling of various vagina essences.
You're like, I'm a fucking idiot. And we're going to be over here with our guns and ammo in our undisclosed location.
Fully prepared to take you down.
Take you and your smelly vagina orgasms down.
Proof we're living in a simulation. Boston Dynamics robot dog is now available for purchase at $74,500.
Why spend $75,000 on a robot dog when you can just get a Roomba and it eats the crumbs right off your floor and it's at least useful?
When the robot senses a dirtier area, it performs a more concentrated cleaning.
What's the good of these robot dogs?
I don't know. Are they supposed to like attack the people trying to invade your home?
Sam?
You were the one that researched this one.
They use it in Singapore for the social distancing robot. In Massachusetts State Police.
She's glitching.
Sam, this is the perfect proof we're living in a simulation because Sam is glitching. Virtual Sam is glitching.
Never woke enough. California state legislature voted to strike these words from our state constitution. The state shall not discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to any individual or group on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin.
Oh.
This is horrifying.
This one broke Maggie.
Yeah.
This is breaking Maggie.
Seriously.
I feel like I'm so used to the slippery slope out of a functioning democracy and the basic principles that we've all agreed upon are good for a productive society in which we all have relatively non-discrimination and equal rights, that this is not surprising to me because we live in California.
Yeah.
And we live in a crazy state, but California is the model for everyone else.
It's mind-boggling to me that this is happening.
I guess we can discriminate now. That's cool. Seems like we're going backwards.
Yeah.
I loved what Jarvis DuPont brilliantly said in his satirical piece about identity politics on Spectator USA Online. He said, generalizing entire demographics ensures that we have a strong foundation on which we can start to rebuild a society without prejudice or stereotypes. That, in a nutshell, is what it is. It's like putting people in little groups so that we can then create a more fair society. This just seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah.
A bad idea. I'm not sure what the whole end game is, because even if they're making that adjustment so that you can start to create, let's say, for instance, anti-white spaces, like spaces where it's for people of color, like that just seems like it's, once you open up that door, then now you're opening up the door for everyone to do it, including the whites.
Right. And so for so much abuse and misuse.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's going to have a whole bunch of ramifications that no one can even consider.
And it's illegal federally.
And then we have CHAZ sets up black-only areas.
CHAZ, CHOP. You can't have CHOP without COP. I thought Sam would appreciate my dad joke.
I'm very proud.
They did establish like a whole area that's just for black people, and it's guarded by white people, which is the weird irony. And it's essentially resegregation. That's what's happening.
Well, this space is right now held for just black folks.
Oh, just black. Okay,
Yeah.
So full black, you're saying?
If you have black ancestry, or if you have experienced oppression because you are black, then you can enter this space.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that anybody who is alive in, pre-civil rights to think that any of this. There are people alive who lived when there were different, like, when
Bathrooms
everything
and
was
water
segregated.
fountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are just people alive who still lived through that. So I can't imagine they would think that this is progress. I don't see how we say this is progress. Even if it seems like progress, this is not progress. This is going backwards.
No, even if it's like done with the best intentions, it's still ludicrous. Then we have canceled.
literally everyone, everything, everyone, every word, everything is canceled, canceled, canceled. And I'm going to lose my mind. Every day is canceled, canceled, canceled.
That's going to be a new Broadway show that Bridget puts on.
But it will be canceled, canceled, canceled before it even gets off the ground.
Okay, reality has almost caught up to The Onion and its post about Aunt Jemima shortly before the real announcement that Aunt Jemima is being rebranded.
What does it mean that reality is acceleratingly catching up to parody? It's a Phetasy.
Living in the age of Phetasy.
We're living in the age of Phetasy. We're living in the age of Phetasy. We're living in the age of Phetasy. We're living in the...
In like 300 years, Bridget's going to be deified as like a god.
Maybe that's what the canceled musical will be about. Bridget Phetasy, superstar. Yeah, so they canceled Aunt Jemima. The Onion posted an article about Sheila, who is a lawyer who sometimes occasionally likes pancakes. And then the PepsiCo announced that they were changing the image and the name of the very iconic syrup we all grew up with.
And this is just the start of the cancellations.
I mean, sure, she was problematic.
Yeah.
Some things are problematic, but it seems even more problematic for groups of people to be speaking on behalf of all Black people. I'm sure there are plenty of Black people who didn't care about Aunt Jemima and enjoyed her delicious goodness. Who was it? Terrence Williams? Is he the one who was doing the this doesn't taste like racism?
I didn't know that it was racist to eat Aunt Jemima. I've been eating this all my life. If this is what it tastes like, then I don't know what to tell y'all.
And the racialization of everything is also going to be problematic. I just sometimes feel like Democrats in particular, leftists, haven't really thought it all the way through.
No, it's just reactionary to the moment.
But if you are going to racialize everything
becomes racial.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
No, that's a bad society to be living in.
We don't want that.
And then Eskimo Pies is changing its name because that was problematic too.
I mean, allegedly, according to Maggie's theory, the 1922 housewife who came up with this name was a deeply racist person.
But then you were saying that they were basically called pies because Eskimos couldn't bake because they lived in igloos or something.
They're not Eskimos, Maggie.
Well, they were called that in 1922, which is where the name came
You
from.
can't say that anymore. You can't say anything. What are they going to change it to now?
I don't know. We don't have an answer on that one yet.
So we don't know what Aunt Jemima is going to be called. And we don't know what Eskimo Pie is going to be called.
We do know what Disney Splash Mountain is going to be called because that too is being canceled and reimagined into the Princess and the Frog ride.
Oh.
Yeah, Splash Mountain apparently was named after some sort of really racist Disney short film. I can't remember what it was.
Disney was super hell racist.
Super racist in a lot of ways.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Actors and actresses are resigning from the cartoon voices of color that they play.
All right, I don't want to take any agency away from these actresses. I just want to say you can give up a role and not make it about you.
True.
That's what bothers me is just give up the fucking role. You don't need to do a 2-page spread on your Twitter account about how woke you are and how you've accepted your privilege and you've realized the error of your original sin of whiteness. It's just so
pandering,
nauseating.
Yeah, it's virtue signaling.
Because you could just give it up and never say a word about it. Then you'd be a freaking hero. Just don't say anything. But no, it's got to be behold, for I have come to my awakening, my awokening.
I have seen the light, and it is not white.
This needs to be in our canceled musical. The Great Awokening. I've seen the light, and it is not white. Not white. It is not white. It is not white. Mike Henry from Family Guy. What a tragedy. But they still haven't accounted for the baby and the dog. Only talking dogs can play cartoon talking dogs. This is speciesism, and it's blatant, and I won't have it.
And only hyper-intelligent sociopathic babies can play hyper-intelligent sociopathic babies.
With very, very hilarious voices.
Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. The governor of Rhode Island had an executive order removing and Providence Plantations from all official documents, but it still has to be voted on whether or not they will actually remove it from the name of the state. It was voted on 10 years ago, and it was resoundingly defeated.
Roadies, the Rhode Island, they don't like change very much.
They don't like change.
I don't like change very much in Rhode Island, so we'll see how this goes. But perhaps they've had a great awakening, Why is it called plantation?
I think just because a plantation is defined as like large farm.
Not anymore. Not anymore. We must change the definitions of words. Change the definitions of words to fit the narrative. Those are the bad guys in the musical.
And then we've got Unilever to rename Fair and Lovely Skin Lightening Cream amid criticism.
There's a great tweet. Best joke I saw about this. They should rename it White and Ashamed.
And then in Houston, some real estate society is changing their use of the term master bedroom to primary bedroom, I think. They're getting rid of the term master because of the slave connotation.
This should be in Sprain My Eyes, too.
Uh-huh.
They're all just starting to overlap. The whole show is flattening into Beyond Parody. We should have just called the show Beyond Parody. Because it's no longer a dumpster fire anymore. Dumpster fire is just our reality. Our reality is parody. And parody means Phetasy. And Phetasy is going crazy right here on stage in this undisclosed location.
That's one of the rants during the musical.
When I'm locked up after they come get me for thought crimes. Yeah, I mean, what else is going to go? Are they changing the name of the Masters, like the golf tournament?
I have no idea.
There goes your fancy master's degree, everybody. Sorry. It's going to be called the somewhat kind of qualified degree. A moment of silence for words, please.
Words have now been canceled.
But we're going to get to that point because if we're going to drill down this deep on every single thing, not saying that some things shouldn't be canceled. Some people are inappropriate and they're problematic. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Right. If we're going to do that, it's going to be, well, English is a Romance language, and the roots of the Romance languages are Latin, and Latin comes from
Rome.
And you know what Romans had? Slaves. And you know what that means? We must cancel English.
And all the Romance languages.
Follow logic, Maggie.
We'll all be speaking Mandarin by this time next year.
And all I'll know how to say is still La Ji Sang Hua. Because we love China.
The BDE award.
Just Some Dude 187 had a viral video, TikTok video, where he was eating ramen raw, sprinkling it with a lovely spice package, and blasting Chris Cuomo for his lack of knowledge about the First Amendment.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful. And please.
There's the First Amendment. You just gotta look it up, Mr. Cuomo.
It was pretty epic.
It was amazing.
It's an epic takedown where he just like did nothing but like eat ramen and point something out on screen, and it was amazing.
I just love that. There was one headline talking about there was like viral redneck blasts Chris Cuomo for his lack of knowledge. Oh, I love that kid. Touch my bells and buttons. Like, subscribe, and comment.
Moving on to Parade of Morons. A white lady berating black cops for being part of the problem.
Just because I'm white and I haven't experienced racism myself doesn't mean I can't fight for justice. They're a part of the system. They're a part of the problem. Just because they're black doesn't mean they're not a part of the problem.
And in other demonstrations of people who are displaying their histrionic personality disorders left and right, everyone has it. Look it up, folks. Histrionic personality disorder exacerbated by the internet. If you're trying to make a point and defend your idea, the best way to do it is to start yelling. Yell louder. Because yelling equals right. And everyone's chasing their 15 minutes of fame.
Mm-hmm.
Like that freaking crazy Karen in Trader Joe's.
That was fucked up.
Don't behave that way. Look, I understand that you've spent 3 months on quarantine, locked up, talking shit to everybody anonymously from behind the safety of your computer screen and your home, and you forgot how to talk to real people out in the real world because you became an antisocial weirdo in those 3 months. Fair enough. But you need to take responsibility for being a decent person. And so get your shit together, America. You're losing decency. Just because our president behaves like a giant piece of shit from the highest position in the land doesn't mean that we all get to too. He doesn't give all of us the right to be giant pieces of shit. And look, I understand the temptation. It's easy when everyone around you is descending into civil disobedience and not obeying all of the unspoken rules that we have about maintaining a fucking society, but it is breaking down in real time and we're all just standing idly by. Anyways, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. My mental health is perfectly okay. But look, be nice. Be nice to each other. This is not hard. I have one rule on my Phetasy.com community. Don't be a dick. That's the primary rule. That's my primary golden rule. Don't be a dick. Don't go out and berate some Trader Joe's workers because you want to go viral for all your stupid friends on Facebook so you can be like, look at what a toughie I am, or look at what I did, or take your selfies while you're looting, or take your selfies while you're tearing shit down. Don't tear shit down that you didn't build. Go build something. Go be useful. Go be polite. Go be helpful. Don't be just a destructive asshole and an indecent person and rude. It is very unsettling. I'm a proper lady. And I'm not saying, by the way, that Trump is the only piece of shit, indecent politician that we have. But I certainly think a tone has been set in our country and we need to come back from the brink. And that is up to us, the individual. We can't all just give into our worst instincts just because it seems like everybody is. I understand the appeal. It's easier. This is why I love our little community at Phetasy.com, because we share recipes and memes and everybody's working on themselves individually and doing what we can to make ourselves better, because that's all we can do. Helping ourselves be better, stronger physically, stronger mentally, stronger spiritually.
And supporting everyone else in the community, even though you don't necessarily agree with everyone.
Yeah.
It's a very supportive crowd.
Yeah, it's civil. We gotta bring this back. Start these communities wherever you can. Try and bring kindness into the world and bring love into the world. It's not going to get better unless we as individuals try and do our best to make it better. This show is getting harder to do because it is increasingly me making fun of mentally ill people.
Yeah, it's getting more and more soul-sucking.
Yeah.
And mentally ill people are really popping out of the woodwork.
We, the people, are waking up, and we know what citizen's arrest is.
This woman is absolutely crazy. A Florida woman went bananas, and there was a great mashup where somebody mashed it with Parks and Rec, where it was her and like a Parks and Rec.
Oh,
it's awesome. Hilarious.
You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet. Okay? 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. So when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We gotta get scanned. We gotta get temperatured.
I think you should all be in a psych ward, said the unhinged woman who just went on a rant about 5G, Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, pedophiles, the deep state, all because she has to wear a mask.
Right.
What happened to Bill Gates? Why is he not in jail? Why is Hillary Clinton not in jail? Why are all of these pedophiles that are demanding you all to listen to their rules? Why are they not in jail? Oh, is it because you're part of them? Are you part of the deep state?
Your time has expired.
The deep state is going down.
Everyone's going crazy.
People are
I'm gonna go
losing
crazy.
it.
I'm gonna go crazy.
We're losing it. We have a new category. What is happening?
Which is also the prompt on Twitter, ironically. What the fuck is happening? It should be, what the fuck is happening?
I know.
Look at this. I love it.
It's like apocalyptic, this woman dancing with all the police cars behind her and with no pants
This is
on.
what originally inspired our jingle, was the unicorn dancing in front of all of those cops. and now it's a woman twerking.
This woman, she was wearing an orange peel as a face mask and going crazy about something.
I think she was in CHAZ.
Yeah, she was in CHAZ.
Not the hotbed of mental wellness there either.
This group in South Carolina identified Stand as One. They're basically woke white liberals. And there was a face-off with Black Lives Matter protesters for being too woke because they were engaging in self-flagellation to make some sort of point about...
White people have lost their goddamn minds.
Put that down, sister. Don't do that. Why are you here? Your attitude. You're a negative addition.
That lash... I mean, what fucking world are you like, you know what we should do? People got together, came up with this plan, put the makeup on, went out into public like this, and thought this was a good idea. And, you know, the black woman who was just lambasting them, rightfully so.
Yeah.
She was like, what are you doing? You are not... Like, I don't think you're making the point you think you're making.
No.
I don't even know what fucking point you're making. It's just disrespectful and tone deaf.
It's as bad as blackface.
Ugh, it's worse. It's worse.
Just
because
awful.
it's still this disgusting narcissism. It's like the woman in the Lululemon yelling at the cops. Like you are still making this about you. You're still centering yourself.
And then we've got Black Lives Matter activist gets into a verbal exchange with an older black man who was speaking up against tearing down the Emancipation statue in D.C.
Tell me the history of the South. You don't even know the history. You don't even know the history. Yes, I do. Yes, the fuck I do. Tell it to me then. Why are you protecting it? What do you know the history? Why?
Yeah, that was, you know, just a note about the statues. This was a huge story this week, and it was many, many images for the past 2 weeks. It's been a major story and a major news cycle over and over again. I know you're going to be shocked to find out I don't think this issue is black or white. I think that there's a lot of gray. I do think that some statues were used as propaganda during Jim Crow and probably shouldn't be around. I also think some are amazing, much like this man who was defending the DC one was trying to explain to this unhinged activist who was defending her ideas by screaming, by trying to ask her who paid for it when it was in fact slaves who paid for this statue. And so there's a lot of nuance. And I think where I fall is that there's a process to get these statues taken down, and we should abide by that process. And I'm not saying that because I'm some law-abiding bootlicker either, because I'm a bit of a rebel myself. It's just because I think in the process of removing these statues, when you're presenting your sides and having the discussion, is the opportunity to have these healing discussions and to have these nuanced discussions that we need to have about race and our history. And instead, it's just a huge destructive action, which causes another reaction, and then zero conversation, and then violence. This is what civilization was great for, was transcending the tribal violence that we lived in for thousands of years and we're descending back into. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. It's like watching civilization slip away.
I know.
Like in front of me.
I know. Being like actively dismantled.
And thinking that it's progress.
Right. Sprained my eyes. Leonardo DiCaprio celebrates his girlfriend's 23rd birthday with a yacht party.
Where else would Leo be when the world is burning other than a yacht with a woman 20 years plus younger than him, dancing and laughing and playing, and then getting ready to gear up and lecture us about climate change? We wouldn't expect anything else from our beloved Leo, would we? That fucking hypocrite. Maybe he has like some kind of issues from Titanic. I'm starting to think that it gave him some kind of trauma. And this is exposure therapy.
Where he always has to be on a yacht.
Yeah. Or he's like afraid of them, and now he's trying to get over his fear from dying on a yacht accident when he was 20, dying. It's going to be a Phetasy when he actually dies in a tragic yacht accident.
And in dumpster diving.
What's next in the dumpster other than everything we've already fucking covered?
A misogynistic alcoholic monkey kills one man and injures 250 others after his booze supply dries up.
Listen, I get it, monkey. I'm in recovery. Honestly, even the freaking monkeys are going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, his master. Oh, and I can't say that.
Owner? But that's not better.
Nope. Nope.
The person who cared for the monkey.
What were you going to say, Sam?
Guardian.
That's good.
Okay. The guardian.
The monkey's guardian was an occultist who fed him hard alcohol. And then the guardian died.
And apparently the flesh of females.
It seemed to target women and girls in particular. It attacked other people too, but
it was given the taste of female flesh by the occult leader. God knows what else this guy's up to. It's India.
Seriously. And
there's lots of people. They can disappear.
It's really pretty tragic. There were dozens of children left needing plastic surgery after the monkey ripped open their faces with its fangs. It's
God,
horrible.
why did the monkey have fangs?
The monkeys all have fangs.
No.
Yeah, they have pretty gnarly fangs.
That would equal those of a lion. So obviously they're not being used to munch down grass. They're used for a totally different purpose.
No, the monkeys are all going crazy. That monkey a few weeks ago tried to kidnap a kid.
And then there was that other monkey that did something messed up. He murdered someone? There was another monkey story.
There's a monkey who murdered someone? Well, this monkey killed someone. I don't know if it was murder.
It's premeditated.
In Breaking Bridget.
This show is breaking me. It is getting harder and harder to do as the world descends into madness. It's important for us to laugh at all of the insanity, though, and so I will keep doing it. I'm not going Jenna Marbles on all you guys. I would be having a lot more fun if I wasn't truly worried about everybody's mental health, because now I'm worried that everyone is, as the world goes crazy, people tend to go crazier.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
It is up to us, each one of us as individuals, to do our very best in whatever it takes to, and I will repeat, see that we are spiritually, mentally, and physically fit for the upcoming months and years, because as I've mentioned, things are not going to get better. They will probably get worse before they get better. And so whether that means you need to quit drinking or start that workout or start meditating or whatever things you need to do that you've been putting off doing, start freaking doing them. Don't procrastinate. The time is now. I am happy to help anybody on their journey to self-improvement, because that is all we have control over. We have control over our attitude and our behavior, and we have control over what we're doing to serve the world and how we are serving ourselves and bettering ourselves. There are many resources for that. If you love us and you want to join the crew, join Phetasy.com. We're all kind of we make goals. We're freaking nerds, but it's keeping me sane. So find something like that. That is my plea to all of you, is to spend some time out in the world. Don't spend it all online. This is just a dark box of everyone's mental projections. Everybody is making money on everybody being divided and angry and hating each other, and stay away from the mainstream media. That is toxic. Your media diet is important. So as much as I know this is very ranty, and I know that Dumpster Fire can be a little unhinged, we are still trying to have fun and be playful and dance once a day. Dance. I'm going to start doing a daily dance party on Phetasy.com. Chloe Valdery, a good friend of mine, she said, when people stop dancing, that's when shit starts breaking down. So we need to make sure that we're still having fun. We're still playful. We can do this. We can do this. We will start a little virtual army of self-improvement warriors.
There are a few good things you can find on the internet. We'll show you our favorite Internet is Glorious clips for the week.
Something's wrong. The city's on lockdown.
Here's the new Barbie Quarantine Dream House. You put it together. Another delivery.
We girls know how to shelter in place.
right, Barbie?
Quarantine dream house, zooming round the clock, making sourdough, teaching herself how to sew.
We got each other, and that's all I know. We're giving it a shot. Oh!
In Phetasy news.
So another thing that I will suggest is if you love us, this is silly and fun and playful, but if you want a little more depth, a little more nuance, a little bit deeper conversations, a little more inspiration of stories that are tragic and fun and amazing, of grit and resilience, please check out our podcast, Walk-Ins Welcome. It's a small but mighty podcast. I don't really push it enough. We have amazing guests. We have amazing conversations. People open their hearts and souls to me in these interviews. Nikki Mark was last week. She lost her son at age 12 tragically, and her story is one of such resilience and grit and inspiration. I have not been able to stop thinking about her. Aisha Callahan had an amazing and just fun time. She is an editor at Essence, a very funny woman. Her take on the culture is just interesting and smart, and she's just in the discourse. So check that out. I have a piece coming in the new Spectator magazine, USA. Order and subscribe to that magazine because I make sure that they don't release my column until after everybody gets a magazine, so you can have it in print first. And this month's July is about how we need social media distancing, appropriately enough, because everybody's going bonkos.
And you should be able to get a 20% discount on Spectator with the promo code WALKIN.
Yes, good point. Touch my bells and buttons. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you, all of you. A lot of the time, I'm like, I can't do this. And I want to do it because I love you guys. I love the comments. You are keeping me sane as I might appear. And I'm really grateful for all of you. I'm grateful. This is growing. We don't really know why, but it is. And we're having fun. If you want to be supportive, you can go and support us at Phetasy.com one time, or you can join our little support group as the world burns, and we would love to have you at Phetasy.com. And you can see the unedited version of this very shit show on Sundays, earlier than everybody else in the world gets the edited version. So that's a perk, and I think it's worth it. And then you get to see all the stuff that we leave out. Thank you to Zen Pro Audio for this amazing mic. Thank you to Sammy Flaps and Folds for dialing in. I love you and miss you, and get back here so we can give the people what they want, which is more dad jokes. Thank you, Maggie, cousin Maggie. I cannot do any of this without you. Thank you to the doggos.
Thank you, Bridget, for
my accolades
for putting on a show for us.
And thank you, Better Phetasy, for your tireless research and trolling the internet. I am often unable to do this for my own mental health. And so any support, when you email us suggestions and on Twitter and even in the comments at weeklydumpsterfire@gmail.com, that helps us. Follow Better Phetasy. They are funnier at being me than I am. This has been your Dumpster Fire for the weeks of June 14th to June 27th. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich. Pew, 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 pew.